Hi there, today we're going to look at the Corsair COMMANDER PRO. We're going to talk about how to set it up, and we're going to talk about some of my thoughts on it. Let's go. This is a pretty cool device from Corsair. It helps save on cable clutter and keeps things organised and easy to manage. It also does a few other things that we'll talk about later on. It comes in handy when you've got a lot of RGB fans in your build, like I'll show you later on. I've got 8 fans in my build, and it helps keep all the cables nice and tidy. Let's talk about what comes in the box. Obviously, you get the Corsair COMMANDER PRO, that's in my system now. We get a USB cable to connect to the motherboard, we get temperature sensors and a few extension kits for the fans and cables. Now onto the Corsair COMMANDER PRO itself. It features 6 fan headers, 2 LED headers, 4 headers for the temperature sensors and 2 USB headers. Basically, the COMMANDER PRO combines a bunch of useful features in one package. Without this, you would need a fan controller, a bunch of lighting nodes, an internal USB hub, and sensors, but who rarely uses them? The Corsair COMMANDER PRO does it all in one nice, neat package. And because I'm using Corsair fans, the LL120s and the ML120s, I can control the fan speed and the lighting from the Corsair IQ app. The COMMANDER PRO is quite small itself. It's 69mm tall and 133mm long. It's very light and can be stuck anywhere in the case to keep it out of sight. Naturally, with 8 fans, I would need a way to connect them all up, and I would rather not use a third-party hub or a bunch of fan splitters coming from my motherboard, so we opted for the Corsair COMMANDER PRO. As a side note, it's not a necessity. The same functionality can be obtained by other methods, but they're not as easy or an all-in-one method like this. It works great with other Corsair components. To install the COMMANDER PRO, you'll need a few things. Firstly, obviously, the COMMANDER PRO itself. You'll also need an RGB hub. You'll need 2 free SATA power connections, a free USB header on your motherboard, and a maximum of 6 fans. If you're using the H100i like me, you can use the USB port on the COMMANDER PRO to power 2 more fans for a total of 8. As a side note, the only compatible fans for the H100i are the LL, ML and HD series fans. If you're using a different type, you just simply need to plug the RGB cables into another separate lighting node and power that with a SATA power supply. To begin with, you need to plan the order of the fans in your case. This is important or the lighting won't be in sync. For me, I was starting at the bottom on the front and going up and around. I used sticky labels and attached them to the ends of each of the wires and labelled them 1 to 8. Make sure you do both wires, the power wires and the RGB wires. Once the fans are in, keep them in a reachable place until the rest of your components are in your case and you can start working on the lighting. Next, plug the power cables from the fans into the fan headers on the COMMANDER PRO in the order that you want, and the RGB cables into the RGB hub. Again, make sure they're in order. Then use the included cable and connect the RGB hub to slot 1 of the LED headers on the COMMANDER PRO and connect the SATA power cables to your power supply. From there, connect the USB from the COMMANDER PRO to the motherboard. If you're using a H100i AIO like me, connect the USB from that to the COMMANDER PRO port. At this point, you could connect the sensors if you wish. I chose to leave them. After that, tidy the cables and you could even stick the COMMANDER PRO to the back of your case to keep it in place, and you're done. Once your PC boots up, download the Corsair IQ software and check everything's working by setting the lights or changing fan speed. So my thoughts. It's a very handy, useful bit of kit. The COMMANDER PRO is about £65, but the amount of convenience and features it offers are well worth it. It works great with other Corsair products and is easy to set up. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, ask them below and I'll try and help you out.